So after running companies for 5 decades, I just figured out why I keep failing, and it's one thing everybody tells you to do. I didn't figure it out in a boardroom or at a conference. I figured it out standing in the appliance aisle of a retail store, of all places, wearing a name tag, helping someone choose a washing machine. I ran a luxury home construction company for over 20 years, and I owned a trucking firm where I personally drove over 1 million miles. And after building multiple businesses across 5 decades, you'd think I'd have this all figured out, but I didn't. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The thing I thought made me credible is the same thing that's been keeping people at a distance. In my construction days, I obsessed with being the expert. Know everything, master everything, be the authority with all the answers. And it worked for 20 years. It worked. Then trucking, same approach, became the expert in hauling high value and oversized loads. Again, drove over 1 million miles myself, knew every regulation, every route, every trick, how to strap loads safely. Expert, authority, the guy with the answers, Here's what I didn't realize. I was building businesses to impress people instead of to help them. So for 50 years, I worked hard to be the smartest person in the room, I thought. I wanted people to think, wow, Mark really knows his stuff. And I did, but standing in that appliance aisle, I realized nobody gives a damn about how smart I am. They care whether I understand what they're dealing with right now. And here's the part that really stings. I knew this. Deep down, I always knew this, but I kept doing it anyway because hiding behind credentials felt safer than showing up as I actually am. When I tried to be the expert, I probably came across like I was standing above people, lecturing down. That's lonely, and on YouTube, it's boring. And I don't mean to be that way. When I started this YouTube channel, I almost did it the old way. Perfect lighting, professional scripts, polished expert image. Then I realized those videos were gonna bomb. It wasn't just fear of failure. It was fear that people would reject the character I was trying to play, I guess. So I made a video called 60 Years Old, Working Retail, Done Pretending Everything's Fine. No expertise, no authority, just the truth about where I am right now. And that video connected with quite a few people because most people don't want advice from someone who's already figured everything out. They want to walk alongside someone who's kind of figuring it out with them. So here's what I'm changing. Instead of building my business around what I've accomplished, although I do mention that in the beginning, I'm building it around what we're accomplishing together. Instead of teaching from the finish line, I'm teaching from the starting blocks, I guess. Here's the concrete difference. The old Mark would have titled a video, 5 Proven Strategies for Managing Cash Flow in Retirement. The new Mark titles it, I lost $10,000 this month. Here's my plan to fix it in real time. Same lesson. One's a lecture from who has it figured out. The other's a guide from someone who's figuring it out with you. So this matters if you're over 50 and trying to build something new. We've been trained our whole lives to believe credibility comes from past success, that people will only listen if we've actually achieved what they want. But that's not how connection works. Connection happens when someone sees themselves in your story when they think, if he's struggling with this and still working to move forward, maybe I can too. That's worth more than any credential. So I'm not chasing expertise anymore. I'm documenting the climb. I'm not building a business that says, hey, look what I did. I'm building one that says, look what I'm doing. That's the shift. And after 50 years of doing the other way, I can tell you this is the one that actually matters. If you're trying to build something after 50, stop waiting until you have it all figured out. Start sharing the journey while you're figuring it out. That's where the real connection happens. I've got another video that shows the exact framework I'm using to document this journey without turning it into a complainer. It's the difference between woe is me content and here's what I'm learning content. I hope this perspective will help you in the future. Hopefully, it'll help you move forward. So I'll see you in the next video.